Hey, what is up everyone, and today I'm going to be checking out the Riobot Anubis from Zone of the Enders, and if you haven't yet seen the unboxing, make sure to check that out, and if you want yourself one of these, like I know you do, then head on over to Hobby Link Japan, the link is in the description, and grab yourself one of these bad boys. Now let's get started. Right off the bat, what can I say, but this is one of the best looking mecha figures I have ever seen. At first I was going in a little bit skeptical with such a high price tag. Could it really stack up against that? And the answer to that question is yes, and then some. This is a great figure. Also, this is my first time ever looking at a Riobot. I've been tempted many times, but this had to be the one. So straight away, right into the nitty gritty, get right in close to that, and it looks fantastic. There is no denying that this is sheer perfection. For a very quick comparison, there is the head of Riobot's take on Anubis. I have seen this thing with some crazy aftermarket prices. Just take a look at the eyes on there, the paintwork, that big piece of excess flash on the top of the head, and then there is the Riobot. Seriously, there is no competition. I mean, even zoomed all the way in and everything just looks the way it should. The sculpt is sharp and accurate, and the paint applications are nothing less than perfect. Moving down then to the torso, and look at all that intricate detail. So many minute separate parts, a lot of which move when you move around the limbs. The separation of all those individual parts just looks so impressive, and then we've got those awesome decals on top of that. And something I almost forgot to draw attention to, just check out that paintwork. We've got some almost pearlescent metallic paint, like there on the cockpit, that really nice sparkly metallic color on most of those copper colored parts, a slightly glossy pure white on these sections on the arm. On these wings back here, we've got a very nice pure matte white and a glossy red on those details. Open that up then, and we've also got these clear segments as well. And just to top all that off, the paintwork is beyond tight. It is just perfect. An amazing mix of smooth curves and sharp edges. Anubis has never looked so good. So now, a couple of quick size comparisons, and there it is next to the Riobot Anubis, next to the Master Grade RX-78-2, and next to a Figma. So there is the awesome Anubis with everything that it comes with, which is the two default pair of manipulators, two alternate manipulators with these clear sections, and if these weren't cool enough already, this little part in here can move around and rotate for posing the spear in whatever way you want. This little section here, which is for covering up the butthole when it's not attached to the base, and of course, that spear. And I guess these vector trap wings back here also count as accessories, and we've got 6 of those. As you've seen already, they look just as awesome as the figure itself, and each one of these can open up like this. And in here we've got some nice metallic silver detailing and clear parts. So that looks pretty badass. So now moving on to the section of the review I am really not looking forward to, and that is the articulation. This thing just feels so delicate and all the parts are so small, I'm just terrified I'm just gonna break something right off of this. But anyway, here we go. So now starting off with the head, and there it is all the way up, all the way down. That is a nice range of movement there, and just look at that part in the throat, the way it moves up and down. Damn, this thing is fancy. There is the head left to right, and the instructions specifically say not to try to hyperextend this. That may be all there is to it. I'm not going to try any harder. This does feel delicate. There is a slight bit of movement down here at the neck, but that seems to be about it. So most of what you're getting is a bit of side to side and a big up and down. So next, onto the shoulder, this polder section here can rotate around like that with the arm. We also have an up and down, and as you can see, we've got more moving parts in there. Whoa! Okay, crisis averted. That part does come off easily, but goes back on easily too. So there's up and down. Don't pull too hard, because this part might push that out. But there we go, there's the up and down. Man, even in this small little section here, there's so much going on. This cuff section in there moves around. This part here can rotate. And then this ball thing in here also is another joint. As you can see there, it can move down and up. A little bit hard to demonstrate that, but when you're moving it around in poses, it does work well. Just trying to isolate it and move it on its own is a little bit difficult. Next is the elbow. There's full extension, and there is that bend to full flexion. So next is the wrist, and there it is all the way up, all the way down, and of course that can rotate as well. Wow, just look at that awesome hollow section back there. You can even see more of the arm action inside of that. There is a better example on that side of it, all the way up. There's it down again, all the way up. That is pretty cool. All these parts here, and here on the chest, they can move all around as well. It's a little bit tight at first, but it starts to loosen up a bit. There is some instructions on how to do it here, but I really don't want to press it too hard because it might break. Next we have this joint in here, and we've got some side to side tilt there. There it is to the front and to the back. So one more time, front, back. There is the side to side there, not a whole lot, probably because of this segment here. So mainly front, back, side to side, but not really any rotation. Next is the cockpit, and the designers might have taken that a little too literally, but that can move up and down, and I really like this little design feature down here. As this comes out and in, it still has some more parts there, so you don't really see the joint so much when it's fully pulled out. Around to the back now and the tail, and we've got more up and down action there. There is a little bit of side to side, but that's more of a wiggle. Mainly the motion is up and down. And yes, in case you're wondering, this entire tail is made out of a bendable material, which is extremely well designed, as it doesn't really kink as much as some other things I've seen that are like this. That looks really smooth and really nice. Now onto the legs, and there they are all the way up to the front. Maybe if I pull this out, yep, we can get a bunch more there as well. There it is all the way to the back, and pretty much if you move that arm out of the way, you could get that to rotate all the way around. There it is all the way out to the side. Let's get the other one out as well. So not quite the splits, but that still is some nice articulation. This can also rotate nicely around that ball. So next onto the bend at the knee, and there we go. That's double jointed here and here. So there's one joint, and there is the second. But correct me if I'm wrong here, aren't Anubis's legs reverse jointed? As in, isn't this supposed to bend that way? That's as far as it will go, and it only bends this way. Should it not be like the Revoltech here and bend up like that? This has always been an aspect of Anubis that I've never really liked. I don't like the legs going that way, so this to me looks awesome, but I'm not sure if it's accurate. Scratch that, it does bend up slightly. Actually, a lot more than I thought it did. Man, this thing just keeps on seriously impressing. This section here pulls out like that. This black part down here can move around like that. That is really cool. And then that connects in there like that. That is a seriously awesome feature. I just keep finding more points of articulation on this. Also, we've got one in here, so it's got a really nice bend to the front and to the back, as well as side to side. This thing is insane. So all in all, this has some very nice articulation and some very impressive small moving parts. So that is it for my review of the Riobot Anubis. The mecha designs from Zone of the Enders are some of my favorite of all time, and Anubis has to be on top. I mean, seriously, what a sick idea for a mecha. And the guys at Sentinel have taken such an epic design and made it into an absolutely epic figure. If I was to mention any negative points that someone could mention, is that it is a bit on the small side, but the amount of detail, design and engineering put into such a small package is beyond amazing. And if what you're looking for is the best figure of Anubis available on the market, in my humble opinion, this is it right here. It's worlds apart from the Revoltech and the Kotobukiya model kit. Worlds apart. And that is it for the review. If you want yourself one of these, then check out that link down there in the description. And as always, make sure to come back for more figure reviews, and I'll see you next time.